Welcome in, folks. It is the Merrifield Sportsbook Show's one shining moment. Our last episode of the season. This is where the road ended last year. The road is going to end here this year. Tonight, joining myself, Nick Burt, is Jay DeCoster and Matt Merrifield. Currently, Jay Walsh is MIA. He may show up, he may not. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Jay DeCoster, how are you doing on this Wednesday evening?
Yeah, pretty good. Cubs are beating the Rays' ass, so that's good. It's the weather's good. Nothing else happened this week. Nick and I talked about the Mike Vrabel and Diner C situation, so that's good stuff happening this week. So nothing else really happened. I don't really nothing else really happened in the world. We traveled around the moon, so that's good. So that's all I got.
Traveling around the moon, confirmed good by Jay DeCoster. Matt Merrifield, how are you doing on this Wednesday evening? As I know you just got back from work like 5 minutes ago.
I did. Somehow, even after housing some Taco Bell, I was still able to beat Mr. Jay Walsh into the chat room. But hey, I can't complain so far. You know, it's fun to see the Tigers in a free fall. They'll have to keep reminding Tiger fans that today is game 12 of 162. You have another month and a half before you can start panicking for real. Like, truly, you can't start panicking until Memorial Day, especially with this team. But hey, you know what? I don't really care. If they want to suck ass, they can suck ass. Doesn't matter. The Trop is back. 2 thumbs up there. The Rays may stink, but hey, the worst ballpark in America is back in action, baby.
Something I might interrupt, but for the Trop, the local Stingrays were actually in that tank during the hurricane, and they're back in their home. So local Stingray in a great mood.
Pretty much only 2 things survived the storm in Tropicana Field. The Rays themselves in the tank, and they're back in their habitat now. They were returned earlier this week. And the American flag was undamaged. Those are like the only 2 things that survived the storm. Everything else pretty much had to be replaced inside that place, which is kind of wild.
Well, I don't know if they replaced any of the seats.
They had to replace a bunch of the seats.
Okay.
They went over, the Rays broadcast, pretty much 90% of it on Monday was just talking about the ballpark itself, which, hey, you know what? Dwayne Stats could talk about slug racing, and I'd be locked in. He's got such an old-timey voice. It absolutely rocks. He's got the stash to go with it. Stats with 2 A's, double the action. Anyways, yeah, I was just at LCA for the Pistons remote broadcast, and I got yelled at because Rieger and Wojo were going until 7:15 because of leading up to Tigers pregame, but the Pistons game started at 7. So they were talking even after the Pistons game had started. They were just it didn't matter. And there he is. And so during the national anthem, we're out in the concourse, and Rieger's taking a call. And they talked about Michigan State for the entire hour and 15. And after the call ended, some random person came up to me and got in my face about how we were disrespecting our country. I didn't have an answer. I hope that's a transfusion, Mr. J. Walsh. But anyways, that was my Wednesday night. Yeah. Anyways, but I had some good conversations with Mr. Rieger about Michigan State fans, but I'm sure we can delve into it at some point when we recap the Final Four. But there are some stupid Spartan fans out there right now, and it's some stupid Michigan fans, but we already knew that. How about those Tigers, Jay Walsh?
They're really good, aren't they? Totally not like we had a pressing need for offense in the offseason that we just completely didn't address whatsoever.
You guys are really good at looking disinterested in playing the sport of baseball. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never seen a team this early in the year look so checked out. It's truly a skill.
Yeah.
Hey,
really,
Matt,
really glad we could provide that for you.
Does that just not wanting to play the sport feeling just survive around all Detroit sports? Well, owned by the Illiches, I should say.
When Mickey Redmond, when Mr. Grandpa, Mickey Redmond, Mr. Positive is defeated on air, and when Ken Daniels goes, "Did you see that coming?" Yes. That was Mickey Redmond's response after the Fantilli goal last night. And then just deadpan silence. Like, it's so funny. It really is. Then you got Dylan Larkin in the post-game press conference in the empty locker room about how things just didn't go their way, and now they have to hope bounces go their way, and they don't have control anymore because they gave up control because they played like shit for the last month. I didn't see the shootout, but I was told that it was, I believe Mike Valeni, you said, quote, "It was as if I gave my dog a PlayStation controller." Though that's a direct quote, by the way. So how about those Red Wings, baby? Pistons are good. That's cool. Cade's back.
Cade's back.
Jay Walsh, I'll let you get a full intro here. How are you doing on this Wednesday evening?
Doing all right. Had some family over, which is which is the reason behind my tardiness, but I am here now. Ready to talk about everything that's happened. Mostly bad. Not a whole lot of good things going on in my sports life right now. Pretty much all bad, actually. Just so you know, Nick Burt, as I said to you guys the other day after the championship game, Dan Hurley is dead to me. You had one job and couldn't get it done. So Dan Hurley is dead to me. But yeah, sports are stupid. Anyway, it's Masters week, so that's one positive sports thing that we can look forward to.
Well, let's rip the Band-Aid off here. I don't know where we want to start with this tournament. I'm going to go to the commissioner here, Matt Merrifield, because your name's on the show. Would you like to talk basketball first, or would you like me to complain about the steakhouse?
Are we complaining about the steakhouse no matter what?
Yeah, at some point it will be mentioned, yes.
Let's talk basketball first. Let's get that out of the way, and then I can get it. We together can get into our complaints about a specific local, I don't even know what you want to call, watering hole that is a historic landmark. And yet, anyways, let's talk hoops first. Let's talk about the rims. Let's talk about what would that be? The north end zone rims.
That's the south end zone.
Jim Irsay, the ghost of Jim Irsay, was sitting on the rim in the south end zone of Lucas Oil Stadium this weekend. That's where I want to lead off. What the fuck? Did we all see the one shining moment video? I know Nick saw it because I sent it to him. The one shining moment video of all the misses and the balls being 75% of the way down and then just skipping out because why not? How does that happen? I'm sorry. It happens. It's every year. And I don't know why the NCAA insists upon that is good basketball. Also, this was like the 5th championship game in a row where we had people bitching about the refs. Can we please figure it out? Not even just specifically that one of them shouldn't have been calling a UConn game because they have a history with Dan Hurley, but just in general, like, can we figure out why is it every year the officials have to make it about them in the biggest game of the year? Especially when you have people who aren't college basketball fans watching, because it's not usually like that. It can be like that. As we all know, watching Big Ten basketball, Jeffrey Anderson loves to make it about himself. For fuck's sake, he's got a Twitter account, fan Twitter, that tweets every time he's somewhere doing high knees. But like
high knees, baby.
I just hate how the biggest game of the year, and it turns into a ref show. And did it matter in the final score? No, Michigan probably wins either way. But just taking away from the fact that I want to watch a clean basketball game, and there were fouls being called that were not fouls. But congrats to Michigan. They were the best team in the country this year. Dude, I think they were the best team on Monday night specifically. I'm going to say no. I thought UConn outplayed them. I thought UConn turned into the game they wanted to. Quite literally, I know you have to make shots, and Michigan didn't shoot well either, but I thought UConn had better looks. They just wouldn't go in for them. Alex Caravan did knock down shots when he needed to. Braylon Mullins did a great job keeping the game. Terrace Reed didn't play very well. But congrats to Michigan. They were the best team this year in college basketball. what they did to Arizona was pretty impressive. And, obviously it sucks and to see Michigan win a national championship, but whatever. You know what? Good for them. For the Michigan basketball fans out there, as I told Jeff Rieger today, congratulations to the Michigan basketball fans, to the season ticket holders for football that decided to start paying attention to basketball a month and a half ago. But to Michigan basketball fans, congratulations. Do I think Dusty May is a smug prick? Sure. Do I think Axel Landenborg might be the stupidest person to ever attend the University of Michigan? Also sure. But they were a good basketball team. And I'm excited to see what they look like next year. And hopefully it light the fire under Tom Izzo's ass to, make that next step and get back to the mountaintop. But I'm here to see what you guys also have to say before we could get into the Michigan State side of things.
Just quickly, we have breaking news.
Oh boy.
Daily MSU has deactivated their account.
Thank the fucking God. I swear to God, that guy was a Michigan fan. Juwan Howard himself might have been running that account.
Wow.
Anyways.
Thank God.
Jay Walsh, I'll go to you next here. I know you already went into how Dan Hurley's dead to you, which,
yes,
whatever, you can take that stance, but he will be your savior one day. I don't know when that day will be, but
I said to you before the game that being invited out to the bar by friends who are Michigan fans to watch that game, it was the only time that I have ever wanted to wear UConn Husky gear in my life. And I promise you that occasion will never happen again. Dan Hurley is dead to me. UConn is dead to me. You had one job. You had opportunities and you couldn't get it done. But on a more serious note, as Matt said, Michigan, the team, absolutely deserves this. They are the best team in the country. They were pretty much the entire year. We saw it obviously early on. They were playing at a historic pace. None of us thought that they could keep up that pace that they were on. And while they had some ebbs and flows throughout the year, for the most part, they kind of did. I believe the stat was if you only counted their wins by double digits, they still win the Big Ten this year, which is just, but yeah, it sucks as Michigan State fans to watch that happen, but you can't get mad at it simply because they were the best team in the country. And I know that people talk about, all the tampering stuff. Unlike the football team, I can't sound off on it as, this team was built by cheating. We don't know what happened, but it's not to the same degree. So I can't get mad at it. I can definitely say that there is not a less deserving fan base for that team to play for. But as Matt said, for the actual fans who pay attention to the team more than when they're in the Final Four, congratulations. They deserve that. But yeah, I was very disappointed to see the Arizona Michigan game. I had a lot of higher hopes than that for Arizona, as I said, the entire season. And honestly, I still think if that game gets played again today, I think it goes differently. But Michigan had their arguably, obviously, I mean, without Lendeborg, it's hard to say this, but the supporting cast had maybe their best overall game of the season. And then Arizona played, without a doubt, their worst game of the season at the same time. And I'm by no means am I saying that Michigan's defense was not a big part of that. They were unbelievably locked in that game on both ends of the floor, just making life a living hell for Arizona. But I mean, Arizona looked like they forgot how to play basketball in that game. So I was really disappointed in that. But as soon as they got past that game, I mean, we all said going into the Final Four, maybe not Nick, but the rest of us said it. The winner of that game was winning the national championship. Those were the two best teams in the country, and Michigan clearly separated themselves. So unfortunate, but life goes on. Hopefully, as I texted you guys in the aftermath of the game, hopefully this is kind of a wake-up call to Izzo, watching the team that he hates the most win a national championship. Hopefully this is the wake-up call he needs to actually take the transfer portal seriously in the offseason.
Jay, I'll go to you next here. Your kind of thoughts here on what we saw over the weekend in the Indianapolis and Michigan winning a national title.
Yeah, I mean, not really too much to add. Like you guys said, I mean, Michigan was just the more dominant team. I mean, they were just completely dominant all season. Outside of that Duke loss, I mean, almost every single game they dominated their opponent, and then the Purdue loss in the Big Ten championship. But yeah, I mean, the Arizona game, they just ran them off the floor. I mean, Arizona just looked absolutely gassed, specifically in that second half. I mean, they just ran into a brick wall that was Michigan, and Michigan's got NBA players and. Honestly, credit to Dusty May because last year he went on and got a lot of transfers like Trey Donaldson and a couple other guys, but now he retooled. He got Lendeborg from UAB. He goes on and get Mara and then Morez Johnson and Elliot Kudo, and all those guys made a significant impact. On top of recruiting Trey McKinney, who's going to be a very, very good player for them. So, I mean, yeah, credit to Michigan. I mean, they were just the more complete dominant team the entire year. And I mean, yeah, I agree with you guys. The Michigan basketball fans who actually watch the team year in and year out, especially watching the 8-24 season. I mean, they deserve it. So, but yeah, I think Izzo hopefully took notes and said, "This is how you have to win in college basketball today." So hopefully he's in the portal ready to spend money because that's how you win in today's college basketball. So,
I obviously it's a completely different angle here. Michigan, yes, was the better team all weekend. Probably the best team in college basketball. I know, Matt, you texted me earlier today. Does Duke beat them? Who knows? Yes, they beat them earlier. Do they beat them again? I don't know. But Duke didn't get there, so it doesn't really matter. Monday night, to me, is the two best coaches in college basketball right now, I believe. Just coaching, like actual coaching wise. UConn played that game perfectly outside of the shots, obviously. You got to factor in, you're going to shoot basically 30% roughly in a stadium like that. That's how these games always go. And shots just aren't going to fall. And obviously, like I said, or Matt said, I should say, that south end zone, shots were not falling all weekend. UConn, unfortunate to have that side in the second half. But again, Matt also went into the ref thing. Fact Breeding has had 11 UConn games this year. Whatever. It is what it is. I think they said Jeffrey had 5 or 6 Michigan games this year. So whatever. It's the fact that it got to this point and they were the refs of that game when things could have obviously easily been shifted around. So they didn't end up reffing that game. But here we are anyways. Again, like Michigan was the best team this year, but it sucks. It sucks, but we're here anyways. Sure. Big piece of advice right here. This is for everybody else. Matt already got this advice. If you go to a national championship game and your team is playing and your team loses in said national championship game, do not eat a piece of cheesecake when you get back to your hotel room at midnight because it's going to sit in your stomach like a lead weight and you will not be able to sleep until like 2:30. Folks, take it from me. a person with experience. Do not eat cheesecake after your team loses a national championship game.
I'm not going to lie, Nick. I could have taken 1,000 guesses at where you were going with that sentence. I'm not sure I would have gotten to don't eat cheesecake in the aftermath of the game. So I applaud you for taking me to a place I did not think I was going to go.
Nick, I will give you credit, though. At least you were able to eat the cheesecake. Friend of the program, Allie Cohen, after Michigan State lost in the Elite Eight last year, I took her to get ice cream in Atlanta to help her feel better, and she cried into her Sunday. I'm not kidding.
Now, I will say, I ate this cheesecake in pitch darkness. There were no lights on.
Pitch dark.
But again, once the cheesecake was done, I turned on the lights. But I'm just saying, don't eat cheesecake.
Which I have to ask, because it was Cheesecake Factory, which cheesecake did you get?
It was like the cookie dough lover one, which that was also a mistake. Let's be honest here.
All right. I have to.
Now I'm just picturing. I'm sorry, but now I'm just picturing Nick Burt sitting in the dark, eating a piece of cheesecake on a hotel bed by himself, and I'm sorry. That's just a wonderful. That is just a peak image in my mind. Go ahead, Matt.
I just wanted to transition to the incompetent Michigan State fans out there. I've seen some wild things said in the last 48 hours between what this team needs to look like next year, how this team is going to suck next year, and how are they a top 5 team going into next season, even though we have no idea what everybody else looks like because the portal just fucking opened. First off, the State's not getting anybody that's not a center. There is quite literally no room on this team. They already have 12 scholarship guys. They might not even get a center. They do have a 7-footer coming in Ethan Taylor. Do I agree with that thought process? I don't know. But after thinking about it, Cam Ward might play the 5 a little bit next year. Do I like it? No. I'm just saying, do not be surprised. I'm telling you now.
I'm sorry. If our center rotation next year is freshman Ethan Taylor, Jesse McCullough, and 6'8" Cam Ward, we are an unserious program.
6'9". But
okay, 6'9".
Remember, we got to a Final Four with Brandon Dawson playing the 5, and he's the same size as Cohen Carr. Was that 10 years ago? Maybe. Are we playing a completely different sport? Probably. But if there's a will, there's a way. Tom Izzo wins in every fashion. Will that be the fashion next year? I don't know. But I'm just saying. But also, I'm just tired of all the State fans and their ridiculous takes about I understand we're sitting in the cuck chair, and there's no good way to look at it, and pretty much any spin on it. But, just take it on the chin and move on. Seriously, don't try and spin the bullshit of, they didn't win every game by 10 or more points. The 2000 team did. Who fucking cares? Truly. Congratulations. They won a championship. I did hear Michigan fans today say, including Jeff Rieger, that they never thought Michigan would ever win a title again in basketball. I think that's ridiculous. They aren't Indiana. They were not Indiana football. Michigan basketball has a history. Not a great one, but and also Michigan's team was not bought and paid for. They were not some, the way college basketball is played now. Dusty May's a really good coach, and they still won a national championship. They're the best team this year. End of story. No, there are a lot of other teams that were more bought for and more paid for, and were not as good. So it's not all about the dollars.
Kentucky.
BYU was atrocious. You lost to fucking Sean Miller, who somehow made an Elite 8 or Sweet 16, whatever it was, but almost made an Elite 8, 2 seconds away. I mean, it's exhausting. I'm just glad I never have to hear about the Fab Five ever again. Thank God, even though they weren't even the ones to win the title. And I heard people texting into the ticket today about how they were, they were still better than this team. 5-5 wasn't even the best team in Michigan history before yesterday. Also, this Michigan team this year is not the best team of all time. Not even fucking close. Hilarious that people think that.
No,
2024 UConn would put them in a fucking body bag. So would 2018 Villanova. I think them versus Florida last year would be a fun game to watch. I don't know who would win because Florida's size would match up well with Michigan's. Completely hypothetical, doesn't matter. But I'm so exhausted. It's been 48 hours and I'm already exhausted of this whole situation. I guess we have to look. It's football season, guys. Who's ready for Toledo? September 5th.
Hey, the daily MSU curse is broken, so who knows? I think Vegas might have just bumped our win total over under to 7.5.
I believe we're 3.5 right now.
Last thing I have to say on college basketball for the year. Also, shout out Dan. I'm fully back on the Dan Hurley train. I don't know why I was really resisting it. Guy fucking can coach. That dude. UConn's gonna be just fine for a long time. Now, they could be a Tom Izzo situation where he doesn't actually get back to a title game or doesn't win one for 25, 26 years. Could happen. We don't know. But damn, I love Dan Hurley. And get ready, Nick. UConn, Michigan State, Ford Field, 2027, must-see TV. It's coming. Warpath Dan Hurley, Warpath Tom Izzo.
We don't know that Tom Izzo is going to be on a warpath, though.
Oh, he's going to be on a warpath. Or we're rolling in with
if we're starting Cam Ward at center, he definitely is not.
Give me Aiden Holloway and then
from Bama. I'm starting to turn around the kid from Bama a little bit. We'll be getting probably now.
Absolutely.
And also, even if we get Sherrell or we don't get Sherrell, a starting five of Fears, Scott, Fears, Scott, Carr, and Taylor, or not Taylor, fucking Glenn, at the 3 and the 4. They're interchangeable because they're the same size. And then whoever you want at the 5 between McCullough, insert portal person here that stands 6'11" or taller. Good luck scoring on that. Good luck scoring a single basket on those fuckers. Plus, everybody on that lineup can shoot at least decently. Cohen Carr will shoot 30% from deep next year. That's not even a high bar. I feel like that's a low bar if we're being honest here. Michigan State will be just fine. Truly, I'm excited to see what they can do next year. But whatever, it's a long off season. Let's move on.
Jay Walsh, do you have anything to add about the Michigan State fan base here?
Not really. That hasn't already been said. Just a lot of people need to chill the fuck out. I mean, yeah, does it suck watching Michigan win a national championship? Absolutely. But I mean, we just did this 3 years ago with football. How are we not ready to do this again? Like, are we really going to lose our minds, especially when, as opposed to football, where we have absolutely no shot of competing for a national championship in the foreseeable future, barring an incredible turnaround from Pat Fitzgerald. As opposed to that, our basketball team is good. I mean, I trust me, I am not to the same point as Matt, where I think even without a portal center, we're in that position. I think we need a portal center. But if we get that, there are no holes on this team. And basically everything that I have heard that's been reported is I don't really think there's anybody on this team that's in danger of entering the transfer portal. Obviously, there's a long way to go. But from everything I have heard, MSU really isn't losing anybody that they weren't expecting to lose going into this offseason. So if they are able to pick up that transfer portal center, I really like the spot that they're in heading into next year. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is. Life goes on. You've got an opportunity to pull the Ohio State. And if you do that, none of it matters. So.
Jay, do you have any final things to add here?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I agree with you guys that, Michigan State definitely has. I'm really excited to watch this team next year, but Izzo needs to be serious about adding a really, like an Aiden Sherrell type player in the portal. We're probably not getting Floyd Badunga. His top 4 is already released. But an Aiden Sherrell, I mean, that's super possible, but Izzo needs to be serious about adding a big time player like that, not just a Simone Zapala who's going to be off the bench. Or I heard they might be going after Trayson Anderson from North Dakota State. Like, he's decent, but we need something bigger than that. So, I mean, it'll be fun to watch, but he needs to get super serious by adding one or two impact players here, and then we can start having really serious conversations. But it'll be fun to watch. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Do we have any final comments on basketball season before we move on here? Going to take that as a no. So, Matt Merrifield, we delegated it to this point. Let's talk Indianapolis here. One, the city is fine. There's not
So
much to
overrated.
do, but it is very much overrated. And one of the biggest overrated things about that city is St. Elmo's Steakhouse. That place, the steak was like, it was fine. It was overpriced because it just wasn't good. The shrimp cocktail, something else. My sinuses were cleared out, I can tell you that. But overall, I can't forget, maybe the worst Caesar salad I've ever had. Truly. Maybe, like, it was so bad. But very much overrated. Matt, I know you have been there before. So I just want you to back me up here.
I will back you up. I liked the shrimp cocktail. Like, genuinely enjoyed it. Like, I feel like you have to order it because it's the thing and it'll knock your ass out. But also, I thought it tasted good. I did not have the Caesar salad. I cannot comment on the Caesar salad situation, but yeah, the steak itself, I agree. Now, imagine, Nick, you only paid for one person for the lunch portion. I paid for 2 dinners that night. Now, it was free because I won the money I paid for that dinner gambling. So it was a free dinner, theoretically speaking. But yes, I would have to agree. It's just overrated. Like, it's cool to be in there. I feel like you should still go, but just don't have very high expectations for the steak that you're going to get. But I also am not a huge fan of going out to dinner to get steak because I don't usually make steak, but like my father makes a damn good steak where I don't need to go out to dinner to get that. Other food, I love going out to dinner. I love eating out. Steak is like the one thing I don't like to go out and get. But yes, overall, I also was there. It was me, Allie, Jay, plus friend of the program, Ben Klein was our third wheel at our St. Elmo's. Incredible experience. Incredible experience. Ben had St. Elmo's last year during the Big Ten tournament. He had it, I believe, 4 times. He had St. Elmo's 4 times in one weekend. He would like order it to the hotel.
4 times.
He was eating shrimp cocktail during walkthrough in the hotel.
That's a man that's living right there.
That's a power play right there.
You want to know what MSU Analytics was up to last year in the Big Ten tournament? That's what they were up to, guys. But overall, I mean, like I said, it was fine. It was technically free, girl math. So, but overall, Indianapolis as a whole, like, people rave about it. I don't get it. Like, for the Big Ten tournament, as somebody who's been to both Chicago and Indy, Chicago, the only drawback to Chicago is the fact that the arena is near nothing, and there's no public transport. Like, you have to drive there pretty much. And I mean, Jay can comment it more better than I can. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Because yes, Indy has all the restaurants and bars right next to it, but it's kind of boring and it's kind of small, and it's not that cool. And if it's at Lucas Oil, you are far away anyways. It's only when you're at Bankers Life when you're right next to everything. The hotel situation isn't great either in Indy. So I don't know the other Final Four sites. I know San Antonio, Nick, you had great things to say about everything but the Alamo Dome. But like Indy, I don't get the hype about Indy, truly. Like, I think, but guess what? When the Bears are in Gary, Indiana, they're going to be hosting a Final Four, and I'm going to be there with Jay.
We're going to Arlington Heights, damn it. But
Gary, Indiana, Final Four.
Hammond, Indiana, not Gary.
We're going to Gary.
One thing I haven't been to game. I mean, it's all right there, very convenient. Lucas Oil's not too far. It's right in the heart of downtown. Like you said, like United Center is like on West Side. You have to take a train, or you have to take an Uber, and that's like 15 minutes from downtown. So I mean, it's kind of out there. So that's what I do like about Indy. It's way smaller. I mean, it is kind of boring, but it is close to everything though, which is nice. So
Overall, yes. But Nick, St. Elmo's gets a true thumb to the there. It's like I'm a sucker for like things you just have to experience. But like you don't need to go more than once. And
Correct.
temper your expectations when you get there.
Correct. I didn't mention this on the show yet, obviously, but I did text you, Matt. As an attendee at the UConn Donors pregame dinner on Monday, the steak was better there than it was at the steakhouse. So I guess that's just what happens.
it's like a Mike Merrifield steak all day, over paying $70 for a regular steak.
Come to the 586 this summer.
I'll gladly have him make a steak for me over the overpriced $80 steak I would get down here.
Bring them a Malort and he'll have a steak ready.
Gladly.
Wow. Overall, though, Indianapolis kind of overrated. I get why people rave about it being such a great Final Four city. It's only great if you're staying in the city. If you're like me and staying 30 minutes away, no, it's not. I was basically staying at the Somerset Collections of Indianapolis, Indiana, with a mall and like 5 hotels surrounding it, which included a cheesecake factory, obviously. It is what it is. Out of the 3 Final Fours I've been to, so Phoenix, San Antonio in this one, it's going to go second. I only put Phoenix third because of how spaced out everything was, but I would take Phoenix weather over Indianapolis every single day of the week. San Antonio is still by far number 1. The only drawback there was the Alamo Dome because it is just such a god-awful venue. I pray to God that they renovate that place and we get it back in 2032, I think, is the next available date for a Final Four. But hey, here we are. Next year, it's home turf for all of us except Jay, as we will be in Detroit. Hey, maybe next year is finally the year the Merrifield Sportsbook Show does a live show before the Final Four in like a parking garage in, Detroit somewhere. Maybe we could get Lafayette Coney Island to sponsor us, do a live show from there. I know those guys are totally watching the show right now, so make sure you reach out to us. We'll get something set up for next year. But let's move on. Basketball is over. Jay Walsh did mention earlier in the show, it is Masters Week. I'm going to hand the show off to him here, give his Masters thoughts, and we will go around the room.
Yes, it is Masters Week as we record here on Wednesday night. The night before the first round, we had the par 3 challenge today. It's the best weekend of the year, aside from maybe the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. It's just it is a very, very fun overall weekend of golf and watching the best players in the world. I will say, I don't know if any of you have had the pleasure of being able to attend before. As somebody who has been there, if you ever get the chance, is probably you guys were talking about how Indianapolis is overrated. Augusta National is everything it is chalked up to be and more. It is unbelievable. There is not a single blade out of grass out of line on the entire property. They literally hold all of the flowers in like cryogenic freeze until this weekend, so they all bloom at the right time. Everything there is just so well run. It is a phenomenal experience. 100,000% would recommend it. Getting into the tournament itself should be a very good tournament, as always. You have obviously your favorites, but a lot of them are kind of playing a little bit iffy. Looking at Scotty Scheffler mainly there, but I don't know if any of you are paying as close attention to this as I am, but I would love to get your guys' thoughts here on any potential favorites to win, and maybe a dark horse pick here and there if we got anybody.
I'm very
Hideki
upset.
Matsuyama.
God.
Okay, I like that.
So I'm pretty sure we go over this every single year, Jay Walsh. I am such a Colin Morikawa guy. And so right before the show started, I decided to make my Google search just to see how he was playing. And I see that he has a back injury, and he is playing this weekend, but at plus 3,500, I don't know if I can pull the trigger on him. What are the odds he finishes the weekend?
There's a very real chance he doesn't complete the first round.
And that sucks because I want to see him
He's
win.
not going to putt well, that's why.
I love Colin Morikawa so much. So I have to find somebody else to root for this weekend, because considering he's going to be sitting with Tiger Woods in 48 hours. So, I mean, well, not in the jail cell, in the rehab room because of a bad back. Sorry. Anyways.
I was going to say, I also think they're going to rehab for different issues, but anyway, continue.
Anyway, it's all the same building, different wings. Cam Young is somebody that I saw, and actually I saw his odds are at plus 2,000. He's played really well. I know he won the Players, what was that, 2-3 weeks ago? But he's been playing really well. I think of the tournaments that have been played this year, he's finished top 10 in all but one. I think Pebble Beach was the one where he didn't have a very good finish, and that was the first tournament of the season. So I know he does pretty well. He has finished top 10 2 of the last 3 years, so he's done solid, and he's an American guy, and he's got the look of a guy that would win the Masters. I don't know how to describe it because they're all just slightly different modifications of just white bread guys. But Cam Young looks like a Masters winner, and this is the year he wins the green jacket. So I feel like he'd have a pretty good, pretty formidable dinner next year. So give me Cam Young.
Yeah, I was going to mention Cam Young. Obviously, like Matt said, won the Players. This is very good value as well. Matt Fitzpatrick at plus 2,150. He won the Valspar a couple weeks ago, and finished second, a runner-up to Cam Young in the Players. He's been playing really well. So I do like Matt Fitzpatrick at those odds. Fleetwood, a FedEx Cup winner last year. He's always someone to keep an eye on. Outside of that, Bryson, you can't go wrong with him. It's not horrible value at plus 1,000. He's always played well in this tournament. Obviously, last year, coming into Sunday, he was the leader. He was actually tied with Rory coming into Sunday, correct me if I'm wrong, and then just kind of choked away the Sunday round. So Bryson's always in this tournament. He's, people saying before he started getting on his run that he can't really play well at Augusta. No, he's been doing just fine. Bryson's always going to be in this tournament. So Bryson and Fitzpatrick are kind of my guys. Who knows? Scheffler will probably win by 5 strokes, but who knows? It'll be really fun. Scheffler's a big favorite in this, plus 510. Second highest is Rahm at plus 900. So yeah, DeChambeau and Fitzpatrick are kind of my 2 guys I like to keep an eye on for this tournament.
I already said Matsuyama, but I do want to add in Ludwig Aberg. Feel like he's kind of always in the run at the Masters, and that's about it for him, basically. I feel like it's either that or he gets cut at every other major. I feel like he could potentially be in this, but I'm rolling with Matsuyama. That is no research done, just taking him for vibes, because I like watching Matsuyama golf. So, hey, we're going to roll with it.
Yeah, that's for not doing any research and going just strictly off vibes. That's a solid pick. Matsuyama, obviously former Masters champion, and is playing pretty well right now. He's finished. He's had multiple top 10, top 5 finishes this year. So he's definitely a guy to keep your eye on. I like a lot of the names that you guys have said. Matt, I really like that you brought up Cam Young, because he was somebody that I really had my eye on going into this Masters as a potential kind of not really coming out of nowhere because he's a good player, but obviously hasn't broken through in a major yet. So coming in as that guy, the one issue with Cam Young that I have is, like you said, he's been playing very well. He won the Players. He hasn't played since. He hasn't played a round of professional golf in almost a month. So it's really hard for me to pick a guy who hasn't played in almost a month to win the Masters, which is really upsetting to me because I really think I agree with you that he has the game to do it. So I will be rooting for him to do well, but I just, unfortunately, because he hasn't been playing, I don't know that I can necessarily put him in that category, but I really like that you brought up his name. Jay, love the fact that you brought up Matt Fitzpatrick. That is also, if I had to pick one player that I feel very confident in, I think it's Fitzpatrick. He's playing very well right now. He's got really good game. His game kind of suits this course. He has good finishes at Augusta before, so I think he's definitely a very good option to go with. Obviously, Nick Matsuyama is a great pick as well. Like I said, the in terms of getting really good value, I think somebody that's really being overlooked right now is Victor Hovland. I mean, this is a guy that if you look at his previous finishes at Augusta, he's done pretty well. He's made the cut, I believe, most of the time that he's played at Augusta. He's got a few top 10s. I think he has a top 5 finish. He's been playing okay lately, not great, but I mean, he had a top 10 at the Waste Management. He had a couple top 20s at the Players in the Arnold Palmer. So he's been playing pretty decent. And his odds right now are plus 5,500. So I think that's a really good value play. And definitely one that you could throw a top 10 on Victor Hovland and potentially make some decent money. Another guy, and I hate the fact that I'm going to say it because I hate him and just about everybody else hates him. Patrick Reed is always a good pick in the Masters. He has the game for this course. Realistically, he might have the best short game in the world. If not the best, he's certainly in the top 3. He's always been fantastic with a short game, which is why he won the Masters a couple years ago. He just always seems to hang around on this course. So if you are trying to find a guy to hammer in a top 10 or top 20 or potentially add, a couple to make the cut or top 20 finish guys together into a parlay, Patrick Reed top 20 I think is usually a pretty safe option. He usually finishes well. But yeah, a lot of big names. Like I said, Scheffler, I don't know if he's necessarily the pick this year because he is really not playing well, at least to his standards. But that probably means, as Jay said, he'll probably go out and win it by 5 strokes. So it'll be interesting to see. Ready for Masters weekend.
All right. Jay, did you have something?
No, I'm just going down the list here. Fred Couples plus 50,000. No, that's plus 500,000. Vijay Singh. Fred, is there a bet for Fred Couples to make the cut?
Honestly, that's not a terrible bet. That's not a terrible bet. If you want to throw a little bit of a long shot bet into a make the cut parlay, Fred Couples to make the cut is not the worst thing you could do.
Man, it's wild. Bubba Watson, throw that in there.
Okay. We do have an official line. Fred Couples plus 370 to make the cut.
Easy money.
That's
not
easy
bad.
money.
Yeah.
It's pretty, yeah.
What do we?
Just as a strictly to make the cut, that is pretty insane value for a guy. Obviously, he's old at this point, but he has always played well at that course.
Bubba Watson, even though that guy's a douche. That's another guy outside of Patrick Reed.
Champion.
That's another guy outside of Patrick Reed that everybody just hates. I feel like everybody just doesn't like Bubba Watson.
Bubba Watson, the champion of maybe the blandest champions dinner of all time, and he did it twice in 3 years, and he did
Love
the
it.
same dinner. It was literally just a chicken breast with, I think, like green beans on the side and a piece of confetti cake. And that was his champion's dinner both times he won it.
Confetti cake fucking sucks, first off.
Correct.
Second,
It's
give me top 3 finishers this weekend. Cam Young, Bryson DeChambeau, Xander Schauffele. I don't know what order. What do we think of
Schauffele
Bryson and
is
Xander?
interesting.
I'm a huge Xander Schauffele guy.
So I will tell you somebody nobody in this group has brought up yet, and it's mostly because he's on live these days, but John Rahm is going to be in contention. He is playing well right now. He
just don't like
obviously
him.
has the game for this course. I don't dislike Rahm. I don't really love him, mostly because, I mean, these days you don't really see him unless you follow Live Golf and who watches Live Golf, to be honest. But Rahm is still one of the top 3 players in the world. And he has won at this course before. He is usually in contention. He is a name that you're going to have to keep an eye on for sure.
I'm trying to find Justin Rose. Obviously, lost to McElroy in the playoff last year. It's also another playoff. I can't remember what year it was, but he's always been in contention in this tournament.
Please bet on Justin Rose to lead after the first round. I feel like he does it every year.
He's gonna shoot
bet on
like
him
7
to lead
under.
the tournament after the first round. He does it every goddamn year, and every year I forget to do it.
He's plus 560 to be top 5. That's solid. I wouldn't mind doing that, sprinkling a little bit on that, because he's always in it. I feel like Robert
Every year,
McIntyre
he
as well.
lights it up on Thursday. He shoots like 7 or 8 under par, and then he falls apart on the weekend. But every single year, he lights it up that first round.
Justin Rose plus 2,500 to lead after the first round.
Wow. Holy shit.
That's
Only if you want to make $2,500. Bet on that. Only if you want to do that.
Only if you do.
Okay. Does anybody have any final thoughts here on the Masters before we move on to our final topic quickly of our season? I'm going to take that as a no. We also have the Frozen Four this weekend in Las Vegas for God knows what reason. Noted hockey capital of the world, Las Vegas. We have Denver and Michigan in the first semifinal, Wisconsin and North Dakota in the second. Matt Merrifield, obviously this is more of our wheelhouse here. You want to know why Michigan is not winning this tournament?
Because I would jump off a bridge if they did.
Well, but the reason why they're not winning is because UConn, Michigan Tech, Northeastern, or St. Cloud State are not there. They are all Huskies, and Michigan's most recent national championships in sports that matter have been against Huskies. So,
Wow.
This is the kind of groundbreaking analysis people come to the Merrifield Sportsbook Show for.
Hold on. Let me do some. When was Michigan's last hockey title? 96?
it was 96, 98, somewhere around there.
I'll do some research in a second, but unironically, I like North Dakota this weekend. I think they have been the best team in college hockey this year, and that for some reason I feel like they haven't gotten talked about. Obviously, it's been the 3 Michigan schools, partly just because that's the fun narrative, even though only one of them made it to the Frozen Four. But I think first off, Wisconsin very good, and all 4 of these teams are capable of winning it all. I take that back. I don't think Wisconsin's capable of winning it all. I don't think they're capable of winning both games this weekend because obviously Denver, the last couple of years, they haven't even had the best team, but it doesn't matter because David Carl is an amazing coach and they still have plenty of talent, and they're going to get a goaltending performance of a lifetime, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's Saturday if they make it, and it's what the Pios do. But I just don't, from a perspective of, I think North Dakota's the best team there. Wisconsin has to find a way to beat them and then beat either a conference opponent team that is just straight up better than them, or find a way to beat the Denver team that I just talked about and how they're just a machine. And full respect, but Wisconsin, they should not be there. I mean, they hope to come back, but Michigan State, I mean, shit the bed like horribly. And that's no disrespect because Coach Hastings is a great coach, and it's fun to see Wisconsin be good. It's cool that these are 4 all-time programs. Like these are 4 of the top 5 leaders in national championships, I believe, in the history of college hockey. So it's cool to have the big brands there. But I feel like North Dakota's gone kind of under the radar. They dominated 2 weeks ago. I understand it was Merrimack, who shouldn't have been there because they shouldn't have won the Hockey East. Thank you, UConn. And then, I mean, I know Quinnipiac's always a mixed bag coming out of the ECAC, but they put belt to ass to Quinnipiac, and I just think they're going to continue to roll. And yeah, give me the Hawks this weekend, the Fighting Hawks. The Fighting Hawks is what they're called, and I will honor that. Even though there will not be very many Fighting Hawk jerseys, as somebody who's been to an NCAA tournament regional with North Dakota playing, a lot of redacted jerseys being worn in the crowd. But hey,
I don't even know if Fighting Hawk jerseys exist for these people.
they do. I saw them like 2, but they do.
Okay.
They do exist.
Okay. Jay Walsh, I'll just go to you next. You don't have your easy cop out of picking Boston this year because no Boston teams made the tournament. So.
Thank God.
By the way, speaking of Boston, I just did the research. 1998, Michigan won the national championship in hockey against Boston College. So unfortunately not a Husky team, but.
And 79 or 89, they beat Seton Hall in basketball. So Big East question mark? No Big East schools there either.
I'm not gonna pretend like I have major in-depth analysis, but with the power of my hatred for the University of Michigan, and I feel like at some point something good has to happen in this world, I'm gonna take Denver. Even though apparently Matt Merrifield is shaking
that's not how
his head.
God works. God hates Michigan State.
Evidently,
Luke Sloan last week tried to claim. Jay can confirm this. Luke Sloan last week tried to claim that God is a Spartan. God is a Michigan State fan, and I told him he's so fucking wrong.
If God was a Michigan State fan, Michigan football would have gotten the death penalty and everything vacated, and Michigan basketball would have lost every game.
Jonathan Smith wouldn't exist if God was a Spartan fan.
2014 UConn wouldn't happen.
Jay Johnson wouldn't exist.
2019 Final Four losing to Texas Tech wouldn't happen.
Dave Warner would be behind bars.
Mel Tucker would have lost his phone a long time ago.
God would just stop phones from existing.
Anyway, not a whole lot of analysis, but I'm going with Denver just simply as a please don't let Michigan win a national championship in another sport. The tweet that was, I retweeted it. The tweet that went around. If anyone needs proof that the concept of karma does not exist, just look at the University of Michigan, because you cheat rampantly in football and basically get a slap on the wrist, if that, for it, and you get a national title out of it. Then you have maybe the most smug prick coach of all time, allegedly with tampering rumors going around, but then you put together the best team in college basketball and you win a national championship there. I can't have it happen in another sport. Please, Denver, we need it.
Jay, do you have any comments here?
The righteous shall prevail, and Michigan will lose to Denver. North Dakota will beat Denver in the final. So let's go Hawks.
We're so fucked. I have another thing to say, but Nick,
the righteous shall prevail.
It's going to be an all NCHC final.
God damn it! Stop.
Matt, they run this. They
do.
Big Ten gets all the hype, but the NCHC puts belt to ass when it comes to the Frozen Four, and they are walking away champions once again Who it's going to be, I don't know. I have the redacted jersey in my closet. I don't know why I didn't wear it tonight. Roll Sue.
I'm in all honesty, I don't know who's going to win the Michigan-Denver game. I do think North Dakota beats whoever they play, but the witch magic of the NCHD and specifically Denver hockey gives me hope, even though the problem is this year, Michigan has goaltending. They finally have a goalie. As much as I hate that program, like truly, I know nobody else in the country feels this way. No Spartan fan probably feels as strongly about Michigan hockey as I do. I cannot stand that program. That is the one Michigan program I truly cannot stand, because in football, Michigan State's not a football school. So although I hate Michigan football, that's their sport. Whatever. They're supposed to win national championships and do what they do. I just get to sit there and troll when they don't do that, and their coach has inappropriate relationships with staffers. It's funny. Basketball, that's our sport. I don't give a shit about it unless they're good. Yes, it sucks when they win a title, but they are decent at it. I don't, whatever. They don't, Michigan fans don't give it enough time of day. But Michigan hockey, we're both good at. We're both have history in. And it's hard to explain, but they act like they invented the fucking sport. And I love that they haven't won it in for fucking ever. For as bad as Danton Cole hockey was and Tom and Ass hockey was, they still didn't win a title. And they could have won it like 6 different times in the last 25 years. And they haven't. And it's awesome. And fuck, I hate them so much. God, the smugness. Like, you want to talk smug pricks, just walk into Yost. The building is a smug prick. I don't even know how to describe it, but that building sucks. And the attitude of everybody in that building sucks. And they don't deserve it. Basketball can have their title. Truly don't care. I don't want them getting this in hockey championship. State's got to win one again. If Dan Nightingale can figure it the fuck out for 4 games in March and April and get a title before Michigan can, I would cry. I genuinely might cry. Anyways, but they'll probably win a title this weekend because, once again, God hates Michigan State. I'm more convinced of that. Truly. Like, you can't make
sections also the children of Yost.
Oh, creepy nickname. I've said that for years. Really weird. Really weird.
Yeah. Everything's
Wait, that's actually what they call
Yeah, there's 2
Yes.
sections called the children of Yost.
definitely not weird or anything.
Not weird.
Who thought that was a good idea?
They did, because they invented the sport. Not literally, but you would think so.
Do they realize that Fielding Yost was in fact not a hockey coach?
Neither was Biggie Munn.
I understand, but
And Jennison wasn't a
Yost.
gymnastics coach, I'm pretty sure.
I'm really upset that I now know that I have that information in my brain.
What?
I'm
the Yost
upset at you
part?
guys for sharing.
You learn something
Yes.
new every day.
I'm upset at you guys for sharing that with me.
I hate Michigan hockey. It's
Also, in case anyone's curious, the Tigers are currently in the fake comeback part of the game where they make it competitive going into the final innings just so they can step on my heart even more. So they're only down 6-8 now.
Yep. Also, I also want to know, I say Yost sucks. Munn is the worst. Munn is a terrible hockey arena. I want that on the record. That place stinks. T to B. Other than the renovations they made in 3 years ago, place fucking sucks. Ice sucks. Press box not great. Watching a game in there is not that cool.
It's very small.
It's not even that small. It's just like the concept. The place cannot handle the fact that they're good. Never go to the bathroom at a Michigan State hockey game. You will never see the hockey game. You will be stuck in line the entire fucking night. The concessions are terrible. I think that might have gotten fixed this last year with football and stuff like that, but I haven't know enough games to tell you that. Overall, not a good experience to go to. But then again, the hockey players at Michigan State don't have to walk downstairs to get to the ice. I don't know if you knew that, Jay Walsh. The locker room's upstairs. They have to walk down a flight of stairs. It's a pretty decently long walk down the stairs as well. It's not like your normal walk of stairs down to the ice. And they have to take it for practice every day. They have to take that walk up and down the stairs. Anyways, fuck that place. Please. Fighting Hawks. One time. 2 games. I don't care. Wisconsin, find a way. Be the team of destiny. Just not the team in Mason Blue. David Carl, I need you to be Witch Magic one more time. You're the Dan Hurley of college hockey. Do something. I'm done.
Wow. I mean, everything Matt said is correct about Michigan hockey. Never forget they opted out of one game at the 2021 GLI because they were missing too many players because of COVID. And they were playing what I believe number 5 at the time, Western. But then they played the next game the next night against Michigan Tech.
Cowards.
They-
Genuinely, I hate being that fan other than for Michigan hockey. I hate being the guy that just roots against other people. Michigan hockey is the royal exception. I hope they lose every single game. Now I'm done.
Thank you, Matt. I got nothing else to add. Michigan hockey, awful. I take Matt's stance there. The only other school I'll do that for. Quite easy to know what other university I have those feelings for.
Does their football coach take showers or not?
Sometimes. If they lose, he doesn't. And obviously the hate is much more for that basketball program. And hey, let them keep rotting in their coaching tree. That is awful. But basketball season's over. I don't get to hate for another like 200 days when I'm sure they'll be playing like, I don't know, Lemoyne or something first night at the Carrier Dome. And there's going to be like 10,000 people there. Well, folks, so we've come to the end of the road. Final episode of the season. Does anybody have any parting thoughts here before we disperse for one final time?
What major events are going on between now? Like, we'll be back in what, mid-August, late August?
Well, we might be
World
back.
Cup. Oh, I guess we'll be
because
back
of
for the World Cup. We'll have some sort of modified World Cup episodes, I guess.
Correct.
And hockey playoffs, but we don't really talk NHL in here. Not really.
Sharks are
Sharks
making the
will
playoffs.
be- yeah.
We're figuring it out. We're going to beat the Oilers here.
My
Yeah,
team isn't for like the 10th straight year.
I think you've been eliminated already.
It's
Mr.
okay,
J.
Jay, because the Red Wings aren't making it either.
Hey, you know who
Because
is
as
though?
much as Matt says God hates Michigan State, God hates the city of
No,
Detroit.
it's self-inflicted.
And I think
It's self-inflicted to the Wings. It's not God. It's just you guys are incompetent.
but
Fully
it's
convinced.
every single sport. It's everything.
It's 2 sports right now, and those 2 sports are
Okay.
incompetent.
Hey, they're owned by the same
Everything.
person.
Is that relevant or not? I'm not going to comment on that part of it. But I will say I'm glad that the Leafs aren't in the playoffs, so I can't say it's their year. That feels good. I can actually have a correct opinion now in the NHL playoffs because I'm tired of falling into the trap of saying it's the Leafs' year when it's not. And this year, it's very much not.
The Sabres year, baby.
Hey,
I
Matt,
want it to be. It probably won't be, but I want it to be. What?
since we won't be back until probably mid-June, do we want to take a prediction on Mitch Marner's point total in the playoffs for the Vegas Golden Knights?
He's going to be the Conn Smythe winner.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that would be fitting, wouldn't it?
Vegas Witch Magic in the playoffs is full effect. Carter, could you imagine what NHL Twitter would do if Carter Hart won a Stanley Cup?
Good Lord. That's him right up there with Mitch Marner winning Conn Smythe.
Co-Conn Smythe winners. Wow. I don't even know where to go from here. I'm done. I'm not even giving a prediction. I'm not giving a prediction on NHL playoffs. I abstain. Go Leafs. No Panama this year, which is disappointing.
All right. Do we have any other final parting thoughts here?
How far in the playoffs will the Tigers be when we return in June? Over under 500.
They'll probably be a little over 500 just to
Taking the under.
get my hopes up, and then just so they can just completely kick me right in the balls after that.
What's
So,
the Guardians' lead in the division going to be?
oh my God.
None, because the Royals will be in first.
How many Stephen Kwan gifts are we going to get from Nick?
I hate this division because it just goes the same way every single year. You have the White Sox who are just doing what they do. You have the Twins who are mid and will never be anything but mid. You have the Tigers who pretend to be good, but then they're not. You have the Royals who the fuck knows what the Royals are going to do. And then you have the Guardians who are not good, and yet they win 90 games because they play in a joke of a division and because they have devil magic, and then they get to the playoffs and they get fucked by whoever they play. It's the same script every single year.
Hey, you could be in the NL Central. The Brewers just don't stop losing, and they always have the devil magic. And apparently the Cardinals
that would make
are
me
good.
less frustrated because I know for a fact the Guardians are not good. They're not. They have like 3 good players on their team. They're not a good team, and yet they just don't fucking go away. Whatever. Let's just see how this baseball season goes. Because I'm sure it won't go the same way every other baseball season goes.
All right. Any true final thoughts now? Okay, we're wrapping here. Folks, it has been a great season here at the Merrifield Sportsbook Show. Thank you so much for watching throughout the season. 32 episodes. Went from week 0 of college football season to now the end of the tournament. I don't think we missed a week. You know, we grinded through. Some of us missed here and there. Some of us were in different countries at points, but we made it through. Thank you so much for watching. Like we said, there's going to be some modified version back in June, World Cup. I know I'll be here because this is the Nick Bird Sports Network. We got a relegation battle that I have to cover in the run-in to the title here. 7 games to determine our fate and where we're playing next year. Pray to God that Roberto De Zerbi is the hope here. I doubt it though. But yeah, we'll be back mid-June. And if it's not this whole cast and crew, we'll be back in August for college football season. So for Jada Coster, for Matt Merrifield, Justin Walsh, myself, Nick Burt, thank you so much for watching all season with the Merrifield Sportsbook Show. And we will see you again sooner rather than later with another episode of the Merrifield Sportsbook Show.